They say love and pepper not the mix, but this groom decided to test it. Tunde was about to marry the love of his life, but instead of hiring a caterer, he gave the cooking contract to his ex, Amaka, the same girl he dumped last year with just one text. Big mistake, Tunde. Big mistake. Anyways, Amaka smiled, collected the money, and said, "No wahala, I go cook food where them no go ever forget." True to her word, she cooked jollof rice that burnt like Judgment Day fire. One spoon and everybody began to sweat, from the groom to the pastor. Before you could say be careful, half of the wedding guests were already queuing at the toilet like pilgrims. Even the bride removed her jele to run.
Hello family, and welcome to African Stories That Touch, the home of African drama, laughter, and lessons that hit straight to the heart. Here, we don't just tell stories, we live them. So grab your zobo, sit back, and let the tale begin, because this one, it go touch you small oh.
Tunde was the finest boy in Oke-Ado. Tall, dark, always smelling like imported perfume. He walked like he owned the streets. Every woman wanted him, but only one woman captured his heart, Amaka. Until one day, just like that, no fight, no warning, he broke up with her. He left her for a Lagos babe called Bisi, a girl with a wig longer than church sermon and an accent sharper than generator noise. Amaka cried, my people. She cried like rain in June, but she never cursed him. She only said, "One day you will eat what you cooked with my tears." Nobody knew that day would come so soon. 2 years later, wedding bells began to ring across the whole village. Tunde was about to get married to PC, and of course, the entire community wanted to attend. It was going to be a big wedding. Canopies everywhere, DJ ready, MC already warming up the mic. But then, the caterer suddenly fell sick 1 week to the wedding. Hey, voila! Tunde ran up and down looking for someone who could cook for 2,000 mouths. Then, his mother said, "Why not ask that Amaka girl? She's cooking for big parties now." Tunde froze. His pride said no. His fear said no. But desperation whispered, yes. So he called her. "Hello, Amaka. Tunde the heartbreaker. To what do I owe this call? I need your help. It's my wedding. I need you to cook." "My cooking? For your wedding? I see. No problem. I'll make sure nobody forgets your wedding day." She charged him double. He paid instantly.
The wedding day finally arrived. While decorators were hanging ribbons, Amaka was busy in the kitchen, humming her revenge song. The aroma filled the whole compound. Jollof rice, fried rice, stew, goat meat pepper soup. Everything smelled like heaven. People passing outside were saying, this cook deserves a national award." But only Amaka knew what she was about to do. When nobody was looking, she opened one big sack filled with hot dry pepper. "For every tear I shed, 1 cooking spoon of pepper." Then she poured it in. 1 spoon, 2 spoons, 3 spoons. My people, by the time she finished, even the air began to sneeze. Hours later, the MC's voice echoed through the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen, please make way for our beautiful bride." Bisi walked in with her bridal train, 6 slay queens in glittering aswebi, hips swaying like synchronized pendulums. The crowd went wild, phones went up, aunties shouted. Even the groom Tunde smelled like he had just won a jackpot. They danced, they sprayed money, the floor was shining with naira notes. It was a perfect Nigerian wedding. Then it was time for food. Caterers began serving steaming jollof rice, fried rice, pounded yam, egusi. Everything looked perfect. The aroma alone could raise a man in coma. The guests didn't waste time. Forks and spoons were flying. One man had 3 plates stacked like pancakes. Another one shouted, "Abeg shift, rice still dead aside." Someone's girl even fell into her soup, but she ignored it. Within minutes, the real drama began. Some people started sweating, then coughing, then sneezing. Eyes turned red and watery like they are chopped onions. Noses dripping. Others were already fanning themselves and drinking water like fish. "Who add Cameroon pepper for this food? Una help me, oh! My tongue, oh!" Even Tunde was sweating like a thief under police torchlight. The DJ dropped his equipment and ran for sachet water.
The MC tried to calm everyone. Maybe it's the weather. Before he could finish, one guest ran past him, holding his stomach. Then another. Then 5 more. Soon, the toilets were full. A long queue formed outside like election day. People were banging doors, shouting, "Abeg open, I no fit hold them again." Children were crying. Women were fanning themselves and holding their noses. Someone's wrapper fell as she rushed in. The place turned to chaos. Then came the bride, busy, holding her stomach, sweating, eyes wide open. "Tunde, what's happening?" she screamed. "Wait, did you plan this with your ex to disgrace me?" "No, BC, I swear." "Swear what? You think I don't know you still talk to her?" While they argued, Tunde's stomach gave a loud growl. He pressed one hand on his stomach, the other on his chair. You see, when pepper starts his journey inside the body, it respects no suit, no status, and definitely no groom. Tunde tried to pretend nothing was wrong. He smiled weakly at the guests. "My people, maybe it's just small food poisoning." Then his stomach answered, boom, like thunder. He froze. Guests turned. Tunde forced a laugh. "No wahala, I'm fine." But he wasn't. He stood up and tried to take one step backward. Then a tiny fart escaped. He stopped. Eyes widened. Everyone went silent. At that moment, silence left the wedding hall. The smell arrived before the truth. People started shifting chairs. Aunties covered their noses. And before Tunde could run, he messed himself right there in his fine agbada.
The bride, BC, gasped like she'd seen a ghost. "Jesu, Tunde, you've disgraced me on our wedding day." People ran out for air. Some laughed till they cried. Someone shouted, "MC, play song, abeg." But even the DJ was gone. Tunde tried to run out of the hall like a broken robot holding his agbada from behind. A little boy said, "Mommy, groom don't shit for body oh." The crowd burst into laughter. It was total confusion. Guests shouting, crying, spraying perfumes to mask the smell. The photographer fainted. The MC lost his voice. The pastor was panicking. "Father Lord, turn this pepper to blessing." Outside, people lined up like refugees, clutching their stomachs, fighting for tissue paper, crying, begging for space in the toilet, and vowing never to eat at weddings again. When Amaka saw the chaos, she smiled softly and whispered, "Tunde, I told you, one day you eat what you cooked with my tears." Then she packed her pots and walked away. By the next morning, the whole village had one headline: the hot pepper wedding. No one talked about the decorations. No one remembered the cake. All they spoke of was how Amaka turned heartbreak into breakfast served hot. BC was now hiding in her mother's house, still embarrassed. Tunde couldn't show his face in town. They say he now walks quietly holding his stomach because he no longer trusts anyone, even himself. And Amaka, well, let's just say she became the hottest babe in town. No one dared to look for her trouble again. Months later, she opened a restaurant by the roadside and called it Hot Pepper Kitchen. It became the most famous food joint in Oke-Ado because everyone wanted to taste the legend. They say revenge is sweet, but Amaka's own was peppery. And sometimes, life doesn't need a gun or a fight, just a woman with a broken heart and a bag of pepper. But my people, be careful, oh! Be careful whose heart you break. As for Tunde, who knows? Maybe his next wedding will need a fire extinguisher.
If this story peppered you small, please click like button, share this story, subscribe, and join us next time for another wahala that will leave you shouting, "It don't happen again."